Okay, so it seems that there's been a little bit of an update on the whole Twisty situation and Niji Sanji. Now, Niji Sanji's been under fire quite a bit recently for a lot of the stuff that has come out, and well, it's not looking good, as actually there's been an update with a new pinned post on the Twisty apology, which we looked at in the last video. If you guys remember, I gave you guys a full rundown of what's happened, but it seems like, Twisty a couple of hours ago has replied even further. Obviously, she's already given out an apology on Twitter, then did the live stream apology, and now it's making a pinned comment apology on top of that. It just keeps going on and on and on, and obviously, yeah, they say Twisty put out a new pinned statement comment on her recent apology and true video. She went all out. It's wild. Read the whole thing. And it's right here over on the page as well, obviously, as you can see. And obviously, one thing I just want to point out here is the fact that someone actually mentioned the fact that there is ads on this video. On the apology, there is ads, which is crazy. There's ads actually playing and during this whole apology, which, it means that the video is monetized, which I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's on accident, but again, that's just something to keep in mind there. Now, essentially what they say here is saying, I have the full receipts and Discord logs. Actually, I'll go over here and read it. So I have full receipts and I have Discord logs. I have messages to staff members and legal. I will not be showing these. The full call will not be shared because it mentions who else was involved. And I'm not okay with bringing somebody into things that it was not comfortable with speaking up. I cut the clip as it was to avoid any possible way of involving them because they're directly mentioned a few seconds earlier. They say, quite frankly, I don't care if what I say upsets people. If I didn't regret my words, I just wouldn't apologize to them. I think a lot of people have the wrong idea about things and just automatically assume that apologizing is lost on a lot of people, and honestly, I agree. Forgiveness can be lost on people. No one should even be expected to forgive someone for anything in the first place. If you're apologizing to please people, is there any point? I think that I went too far and I could have expressed myself in different ways, and that is all there is to it. But honestly, it has nothing to do with forgiveness from the types of people who will just vilify and harass me, all while defending a genuine predator. This has always been a guilty until proven guilty situation, and it will probably stay that way forever. I truly hope it does, because I do not want such people to ever interact with me or my content. Which is kind of crazy. I mean, obviously, that they're kind of referencing a lot of the things that they brought up with Niji Sanji, and then also, their own apology and saying that, you can't just go after me and then also defend someone else in the community, which is crazy because, I think a lot of the stuff that they still did is still bad. I think the takeaway from this is the fact that, Niji Sanji is bad, but also Twisty isn't any better. Obviously, the stuff that Niji Sanji is doing absolutely is terrible. But, Twisty has also been caught, saying some pretty racist and transphobic things. And, that doesn't change, even if you do come out with this information, it still doesn't change the fact. Now, they say, number 3, don't begin to assume you know anything about my job, contract, or terms when you have absolutely no idea of, oh, well, this person said this. Like I said in the video, everyone has very different experiences, and lots of people have very different circumstances too. I'm telling you mine. Number 4, I wanted to leave last August. I wanted to leave again 4 months ago. Number 5, I don't hate all men. I think they're all mentally ill, but so are women, and so am I, so. That's a little bit weird. I mean, just saying all men are mentally ill and saying that all women are mentally ill, I don't think that is the case. But again, obviously, that's their own opinion there. Number 6, I have no issues with Brave Group as a whole. I will not mention the VTuber in question, but I will stand by my words here. Yes, I was jealous and petty, and it was definitely in bad taste, but I'm not going to apologize for disliking someone in private or being upset for my own personal reasons, nor for thinking that hiring people who are open about politics is bad optics. At this point, she's already terminated, so it'd be an apology to the wind. They say you're deflecting blame. 2 people can make mistakes at the same time. I want to start fresh and move on with my life. I'd like to take some time away, and that is not something I felt like I could do without getting everything off my chest. I think that these things were very important to address together, because all of the comments I've seen saying, well, she said this, so they're totally innocent, which is just not how things work. They said, I feel like my statement on Twitter covered the majority of my feelings about the situation, and while I considered speaking more on what happened, I think it's ultimately not relevant. I cannot go back and change the past. The most I can do is say sorry and be better for myself and my fans. And then finally, number 9, which is kind of crazy, the last one. I will never apologize for being a lolicon. I will continue to do incestuous lolicon lolly roleplay. Oh god. Yeah, that's pretty. Fine. God. Aside from all of that, I truly believe that if you continue to support and defend my job and the individual mentioned, you are no better than me. You can deflect and call me a liar all you want, or downplaying the severity of the situation, but at the end of the day, I know what I and others have experienced. You are the reason that they continue to treat their employees poorly, the reason they allow to truly vile people to do truly vile things with no repercussions, and will continue to do so. We believe all women until it's one I don't like, right? I truly hope that you will never have to go through the same. Which, yeah, I think it's an interesting comment, because obviously, you know, a lot of the things that she has brought to light is very important, and, you know, obviously it is terrible what Niji Sanji has done. But again, you know, it's also not, you know, you can't just use this kind of reveal as a, well, you know, you can't go after me because I just brought out all of this stuff, and you hate women and stuff like that if you, you know, if you start going after me about this stuff but not going after them. So again, you know, for example, like me, I have covered the Twisty situation, but I've also covered the things that Twisty has said about Niji Sanji and everything like that. And I think that's what a lot of people should do. A lot of people should read up upon, is both kind of things that are going on. The thing that happened with Twisty and the things that she said in private, but also at the same time, going into what Twisty has said about Niji Sanji and how, you know, Niji Sanji has been doing over the past couple of months and what they've been doing. You know, people saying, I don't even know how to react to this. They're saying, I can't say anything anymore. They're saying the fact that she wanted to quit in August when D-North debuted in May tells me all I need to know about her. State in Niji En, she was essentially calling it quits after 3 months in. You know, so they keep going on like, I give up, man. It's a who's a brave group VTuber. They're saying, given the time frame and that she says they've been terminated, I would have to guess 2 from Globee that got terminated back in February. I don't see anything political in their PO Twitter bios, which again, you know, obviously they keep on going. So people are just like speculating at the moment what is going on. And said, how I feel reading until the 0.9. I said 0.9 is her most consistent trait if you look at her Twitter. They said, I mean, okay, sure, I guess, but it still literally came out of nowhere in this statement. Which, yeah, 0.9 was kind of crazy. You know, saying that they won't apologize for being a lolicon. They'll continue to do incestuous lolly roleplay. I mean, brother, Christ. Okay, it was definitely a direct response to that. It was also, oh no, yeah, they're talking about some other controversies and stuff that she's been in before. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird. So honestly, the only objection this specific point is raising for me is, girl, you into that and yet you hate yaoi. Are you really to yuck here? Which again, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's the main response from a lot of this stuff. They say, have to agree with you. There's something. This is really something to say the least. Say sometimes there is no good versus bad, and there's just bad versus worse and worst. No limits for this, unfortunately. But hey, at least she's honest and aware that she is not the best of kind, which again, I definitely do think is true. They're saying hiring people who are open about politics is bad optics, which, yeah, they say that's ironic. Say Brave dodged a damn missile for not giving her a callback. So yeah, you know, you're saying, I feel like this is a good reason, example of why people tend to keep these things private. And it just seems like a lot of people just aren't very happy with this overall. And, you know, it's kind of a weird comment. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like she could have left that apology video with that kind of bombshell that she dropped on Niji Sanji and just left it at that, and that would have been like the end of it. And I feel like that probably would have been the better kind of move there, especially considering, you know, a lot of the stuff that you know, has been said. But obviously she had to go and kind of double down, and also, you know, there's one thing that apologizing and stuff, but also she just makes it seem like, oh, well, I don't really apologize for this and I don't really apologize for that, and it kind of like dismantles the apology in itself, in my opinion. But again, you know, maybe you don't think that way. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, people have been, you know, responding to this pretty crazily, and obviously we got this original post as well from the original live stream. People saying, for those who didn't watch the stream, she repeated the same points from her apology and was clear about that. And then she joked that she still hated Yari, but was still primarily apologetic. Then she moved on to the situation with her company and said a lot of things she said in the leaks. New info so far was her saying that she was put on break after the video on Aster came out. She also reminded people that if other co-workers share positive experiences or positive about Niji, not to view it as a defense. Their experiences are their own. She had one meeting with little actual discussion on Aster, and she doesn't think there was an investigation. She alluded to a monetary settlement being offered in exchange for her silence, but refused. Then she went in depth. Then she went in depth on the things discussed in the leaks, their conversations with Aster, how he treated others the same way, his inappropriate behavior. She also mentioned how Niji refused to do anything to Aster out of fear of retaliation. She mentioned how his behavior is not new and how he would specifically target new hires, especially women. Niji Sanji also told her to never speak about the sexual harassment with anyone. Twisty and her colleagues pleaded with Niji Sanji in an attempt to take Aster's behavior seriously. She also mentioned to have documentation with Aster's own acknowledgement about the sexual harassment. They say she mentioned a co-worker, which, you know, they put in kind of parentheses, Aster question mark, leaking her outfit right before a stream. So again, maybe that was also another thing. I mean, we went through a lot of this in the previous video, but obviously I think the one thing that a lot of you guys did comment down below in the previous video was the fact that this individual, because she mentioned an individual, but never actually mentioned them by name, is apparently alluded to Aster. Aster obviously has been in a lot of kind of controversy in the Niji Sanji space, and a lot of you guys were saying, you know, it's Aster or it could be Aster. So again, I'm not saying it 100% is, but obviously that's what the main kind of, I guess, thought is from the wider VTuber community. People saying my takeaway from this saga is that Niji Sanji keep hiring awful people and then keeps them around even when their dirty laundry gets exposed. I guess we'll see if they fire her over this. That would certainly support the Niji favors the boys that has been going around for a while, which, yeah, is definitely true. They say Aster's PL literally had drama and a whole call-out post for being a toxic asshole. In any company with a competent hiring team that would have been an immediate disqualification. They literally had no one better that they could have chosen for his position. Just astonishingly baffling incompetence. They say, who was Aster's PL? I had no idea what his previous identity had controversy to. It's in his PL was these ones. Which again, yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I mean, whenever it comes to this kind of stuff, I think, yeah, obviously they said, and you know, this has been a big kind of trend in a lot of these comments I've seen, is people saying like, yes, Niji Sanji is terrible, but it seems like they're also hiring terrible people in terms of Aster, and also in terms of Twisty herself. Twisty has also done some terrible things, obviously not maybe to the extent that Aster has done, obviously, but you know, they seem to be, hiring some pretty bad people, and obviously it's up to you to determine, what you think is worse or not as bad or whatever, in a situation. But again, it's crazy that all of this stuff is all coming out at once, because it makes it very confusing for a lot of people. And I think that was one of the main driving factors why Twisty released all of this information, to make it more confusing for people, because obviously people are going to get confused between, her own kind of drama, which has been going on, of the leaked video that we looked at in the first video about this. But also, people are also going to get that confused with the whole Niji Sanji stuff, and then you're going to have people calling you like someone who doesn't take it seriously or whatever, just because you're still trying to call Twisty out for her actions. But then also you've got people as well who will just ignore the Niji Sanji stuff, which obviously is also terrible, and then they're going to be going after Twisty, and then it's just going to be like a whole mess of people going after different people. And I think this is the chaos that maybe Twisty wanted and maybe Twisty needed to kind of get a lot of this kind of pressure off of her back. But hey, we'll have to wait and see if there's even more apologies, even more comments, even more statements, even more whatever, because it seems like this just keeps coming out and coming out and coming out and coming out literally every single hour or so. Because as I said, she made an apology video, she made an apology post, she made an apology pinned statement. I mean, what's next? Are we gonna get like an apology live stream next? Like, I don't know. But hey, we'll have to wait and see, and obviously I'll keep you guys up to date if there's any more news on this. But yeah, pretty crazy situation overall, and it seems like Niji Sanji is still in the mud, and that Niji Sanji has been doing some pretty terrible stuff still behind the scenes. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Keza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, see ya.